What is going on, everybody? This is a video that I really don't like to make, but I feel like I owe it to you guys to give you guys an update on what happened after my RV fire. I made some huge mistakes and it's embarrassing to share these mistakes with you guys, but hopefully some of you can learn from these mistakes. It's hard to make these videos about kind of my personal information, but I'm going to tell you guys what I paid for my Newell coach, how much I insured it for, and everything that happened. But I do want to say thank you to all of you out there that were extremely generous and definitely made this whole situation much easier for us. Both Shay and I are extremely grateful to all of you that were extremely generous. Without all of you, it would have been a much more difficult situation. So I'm out here at a Copart lot right now looking at different RVs that were in accidents, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to make this video following up on my situation. The biggest question that I get asked is what caused the fire, and I want to go into the details of that. And I did reach out to an RV insurance expert to help kind of explain things in this video. So today I'm hanging out with Marty Carricker here. Marty, you've written over 1,000 RV insurance policies.
Well, for starters, we obviously hope this never happens to anyone. This is, insurance is one of those things that you buy and you hope you never use. So, and that's one of the only things that may be in a life insurance policy, but eventually you use that too. The key is if you ever have to use it, you better know what's there, what you're covered for. And should something like this happen to you, know in advance that it's covered properly.
Never talked about it before, but I did pay when I bought my Newell coach. I bought it for $110,000, and when I was getting that insured, I called the same company that I insured all of my cars. I actually went to high school with the insurance agent. My parents had used this insurance agency for 20-30 years. The policy was a stated value for exactly what I paid for the coach. So I paid $110,000 for it. I had no contents coverage, no towing coverage, and not the actual value coverage. So that was the tricky thing, is when they did the research on my coach, the actual value was $175,000. So I wish I could go back to that conversation, and I thought that I had backed it up, and I thought I wanted it insured for more, but they put the policy at $110,000. So when I got a check from the insurance company, and it took about 32 or 33 days from the accident until I got a check, and they did take the tow bill and my deductible at $1,000 deductible and a $4,500 tow bill that got deducted from that. So they deducted about $5,500, and I ended up with a check for about $104,000. Now, Marty and I were talking, and if I would have had it insured properly, I would have probably ended up with about $100,000 more in my pocket. Now, I'm not asking for sympathy for anybody. All of you out there have made me more than whole, and I'm extremely blessed and fortunate for all of your generosity. But if it wasn't for this YouTube channel and all the generous folks in the RV community, it would have been a much more difficult situation. But what mistakes did I make, and what could I have done differently? And then I want to talk about how our insurance company inspects the fire in a second. But what should I have done? What could I have done differently, and how should that have gone?
Well, Andrew, I think the first thing you could have done was make sure you're dealing with somebody who has intense training and lots of experience with insuring RVs. Most agencies out there and certain carriers, the primary focus is on what's the most popular, which is auto insurance. As far as numbers of actual policies out there, the least popular or the least written are actually RV policies. So I think the first thing that you should do is always make sure that you work with an agent that specializes.
Marty, to go over your policy, he has a team of agents that do specialize in RVs that can help you with that. But what should I have done differently?
For one, you should have looked at the value of your RV, and then you had an agreed value, sometimes called stated amount or stated value, and you should have made sure that that number equals what you wanted insured for. Now, that's all within reason. Of course, you got a good deal on yours, and therefore the stated value might have been lower than what you could have actually replaced it for. So you should have heavily considered insuring it on an agreed value of what it was actually worth, and you would have got that full amount.
How do you make sure that you know that you're covered on that stuff?
Yeah. Well, I think that's one thing that sets us apart. We actually, with our clients, we go line by line and we talk about all the coverages. One of the things we talk about is personal effects. Personal effects is all the stuff on the inside of the RV. If you were to take the RV, turn it upside down and shake it, the stuff that falls out of it, that's your personal effects. That has a number to it. So within that personal effects, we want to make sure that we've got that covered, And there's a subcategory called scheduled personal effects. What that is it's specialized personal effects coverage for items such as jewelry, computers, anything valuable inside the RV that you want insured for an actual stated amount. The normal personal effects does have a per item limit. Therefore, if you want $3,000 for your MacBook that you lost in a fire or an accident, we'll insure it for exactly $3,000. So talking about your personal effects is one of the things that would have made a huge difference. You would have been reimbursed for likely everything that you lost.
I've ran into so many people that have asked me what caused the fire, and I'm still waiting on the insurance company to get back to me. I have reached out to them, and as soon as we get the actual cause of the fire, I will let you know. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get that. Marty, do you want to explain from the insurance company standpoint, how does this inspection process take place and how does that work?
Right. Well, at the time that the insurance company deems it a total loss, you sign that title over to them. Now it's their RV. They're more than happy, more than welcome to share with you any information that they find on the RV, such as the cause of the fire, at least what they think it might have been. In some cases, maybe your case, the damage was so severe that there's no way to tell. At that point, it is the insurance company, and they want to know how it happened. They may have to actually subrogate or go against the manufacturer. So if the insurance company is required to pay a claim for you that was the default of the manufacturer, they want to know that. So that's why they're going to look into it and find out the cause if they can. At that point, the settlement's already been made. Of course, you've been paid on the value that you had it insured for. So we may never know what the cause of it was, but if they can find the cause, they will.
I will speculate a little bit, just all the different people that I've talked to and what I think might have caused the fire. And I don't know, I'm not a fire inspector, and there's hopefully they can inspect and get down to it. But my speculation is that it's possible that maybe mice had gotten into the coach, maybe gnawed on some wires, and maybe caused an electrical fire. So that's, all the different, million different people speculating, but I'll definitely let you guys know as soon as I do hear back from the insurance company, whatever they tell me. But it's been 5 months now since the accident, and I thought I owed it to you guys, and I thought it was worth it to bring Marty in. Marty's provided a lot of value to over 1,000 people. A lot of people that follow RV Odd Couple have heard John and Mercedes promote Marty a lot over the last couple years. So Marty, really appreciate you taking the time to share that stuff with us, and I'll leave your information in the description below if somebody does want to get a quote on their policy. And I highly recommend, I actually have a good friend that's Marty's working a quote up for right now, and it was really neat to just go line by line and see how that whole process works. So we might even do a couple more videos kind of talking about RV insurance and how that all works. So Marty, really appreciate you and the input you have, and also appreciate all of you out there on YouTube subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you.